coolest devices I've ever seen, and it's brought to you guys by Mnemonic, and this is their sticky note printer. Now, why exactly would you need a sticky note printer? Well, what if I told you it can actually change your life and make your life a lot easier? You see, this thing is capable of doing anything and printing all those quick little things that you don't really want to print using your massive normal printer. You see, this thing's perfect for planning and organizing, and here's the cool thing about the cool little cartridge I'm inserting into the printer right now. It has basically everything built in, so when you replace the cartridge, you're basically replacing the ink, the paper, and the sticky note section all at the same time. The paper has the sticky part built into it. It also uses a special inkless type of paper where you're not exactly wasting ink, and you never have to replace the ink on this, just the paper, so everything is kind of all in one, and it's really, really cool. And then, of course, the printer itself is a really interesting form factor, looks sleek on your desk, and of course, it's kind of the shape of a sticky note. So of course, start taking notes, guys, because we're going to go ahead and jump into why this thing is unique. You see, you can plug it directly into your computer, or you can use Bluetooth to go ahead and connect it to your application on either iOS or Android, and yes, it supports both macOS and PC, which is really, really awesome. Now, once you have the application downloaded, simply go ahead and add the printer, and afterwards you're able to work on it right away. So we're going to go ahead and create an interesting collage, a quick collage right here, where I'm simply going to take an image from my recent trip to Italy, and I'm going to add some text on top of that. I'm going to connect to the mnemonic, and afterwards it should give me options for messing around with things like the contrast and the brightness and whatever I have to do to make this look good on the sticky note. Now, it does print in black and white, so keep that in mind when you are adding images and whatnot, and you can choose how many of these you want to print right from here. Next off, we're going to go ahead and simply hit print, and this thing is very, very fast. You see, unlike a traditional printer that's going to use ink and whatnot, it's going to print and print and print and go back and forth and back and forth. This thing prints instantaneously, which is really, really cool, and the quality of it is really, really good. Now, the quality does work a bit better when you work in black and white. For example, here I have a full-on colored image, and it has a lot of details and whatnot, so it'll look the way you expect it to look in black and white. But what if I use one of their templates? Let's see how much better it looks. So we're going to go ahead and simply jump through some of the quick templates that they have here, everything from normal notes to timetables to calendars to boards to even giant letters and numbers. But we're going to go and simply use something a bit more interesting. You see, if I go ahead and simply click on the 2019 here, I can go and draw on top of it, but there's a variety of options here. I can go and use the pen tool as well. I can use erase something if I need to, and I can insert full-on text or an image directly onto here as well. Let's say this thing looks really cool and I don't want to stick it on the printer right now and I want to save it. Well, I can hit the save button and it will save directly to my iPhone, and then I can share it with my friends or something of those sorts. How cool is that? But my favorite thing inside of this application is able to create mosaics. You see, this thing will actually do everything for you. All you have to do is choose an image and then the size that you want your mosaic to come out as. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you can choose, let's say in this case, 3x3, and then you will have 3 rows of sticky notes coming out and 3 columns as well, and this will all go and form one very giant image. Now, you can get creative here and maybe go and stick these on your wall or maybe a fridge or something of those sorts, but the point is, it just looks a lot cooler than printing the same image out on just a normal piece of random paper from your typical printer. This allows you to get very creative, and you can even technically have any image and then combine some images. So I don't know, maybe you want to make it look like you're floating around the world or something of those sorts, but in this case I kept it pretty simplistic and simply went ahead and stuck everything onto my monitor, but you can also stick it onto a wall like you can see here as well. I think it's really cool. I think the coolest thing about this is that it chooses which part of the sticky note, and it can make sure that basically every single side is facing up, and that's not something you have to deal with. So when you go and stick this onto a wall or something, all you have to do is stick them on. Typically speaking, if you wanted to create a mosaic, maybe you'd have to jump into Illustrator or something of those sorts and then chop it up into individual pieces, and then to get them to stick, you'd have to use tape, and it would just look absolutely ridiculous. But in this case, it just looks really, really cool. It also has a built-in QR code creator and, of course, a barcode creator, which can be really useful if you're maybe tagging a, I don't know, garage sale or something of those sorts. As you can see, the uses are endless. But the thing I've been using it for is, of course, making notes. You see, instead of typing up my notes and having them in some app somewhere or OneNote or something of those sorts, why not print them out and stick them on my fridge, which I open every 10 seconds anyway? Well, that's exactly what I've been doing. Now, my second favorite thing is the ability to print out web pages. This is where I'm going to go over one of the top features of this. Let's say you want the thing to always print out properly. Well, you can actually choose what side the sticky thing is on, which I think is one of my favorite things because sometimes the image simply isn't the right way. And this is especially helpful when it comes to, well, screenshots. That's right. Inside of the PC or Mac application, you can go ahead and quickly screen grab any portion of the screen, and then it will print that out within a second. But the application does a bunch of other things inside of the PC and Mac OS application as well. You can do just about anything you can do in the app, but just a bit more convenient. Like I could throw an image onto this template of a calendar within a second directly from my computer, and afterwards, there you go. I got myself a cute little custom calendar just like that. There's also a variety of other templates built into here as well, and to be honest, it's a bit easier to sort through them when you have the full-on mouse at your capabilities. My favorite one right here is Life is Beautiful, and a cool little trick is you can press the button that's directly on the printer, and it will go ahead and create a replica of whatever was just printed, so you can print out a bajillion of them if you need. As you guys can see here, I went a bit overboard, but you know what? Life is beautiful, so I decided to take one last one of these and print it out so I can go ahead and stick it directly onto the mnemonic printer. How cool is that? So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, so leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be me logging off.